Yeah, you have the arc stasis buff going on.
If you seriously go out of your way to.
Did you guys see that?
I did. Yeah. It was pretty
That was 2 barriers. Look at that barrier.
You liar, handshake, punchy hunters, you guys got nothing on this destructive power. Warlocks, I don't even know what to say about you guys. But in all seriousness, I want you guys to understand that this is a Master Nightfall, so GMs are the only thing that is harder, and we can one-shot 2 champions at the same time. Oh, and also have unlimited melees without using Heart of InMost Light. Yeah, you heard that correctly. We are not using Heart because of the stealth buff or fix, whatever you want to call it, that happened on Tuesday. But for me personally, it's a straight up buff because it allows us to have infinite Consecration slams with no heart, which means we can add damage to the slam instead, have unlimited slams, and on top of that stay alive because of our healing sources. In this clip here, I'm going to slow it down just a bit because it shows exactly how strong this is. We throw our grenade and then do the slam, and I want you guys to watch our grenade ability in the bottom left and our melee ability. We used both leading into the slam, and we have both back in seconds after using the slam. And we killed 2 champions in the process by ourselves. And every red bar around them as well got blown up. I asked my clan mates Rob and Grim that were running with me if they knew about anything stronger or more powerful that only requires a single ability and poof, 2 champions gone, and they said they couldn't think of anything. The only thing maybe is the new Arc Titan storm grenades, but those still take time to deal damage, and you might have to break the champion in the middle, and they also require Heart of InMost Light to do the good damage that you want them to deal and the ability loop as well. So I think if we sit down, think about it, look at everything, I don't think there's something stronger than this. You have powerful slams that can one-shot champions, you have unlimited amounts of those slams, you have healing sources from multiple areas, and I was also just 1 Titan running this. You could have 3 Titans doing the same thing. So even if I left a champion at like a quarter health, well then they're finishable, or we just chunk their health big time, and 3 Titans sliding into the rooms and just slamming champions, I think everything would just disappear, and I can't wait to try this with 3 of them in a Grandmaster. If you'd like to get access to the members only Discord where you can ask me anything or want a one-stop shop to all my builds in one easy place, then click the link in the pinned comment, and thank you if you choose to do so. I really appreciate it. So this build is all about the Consecration Slam. While sliding, activate your charged melee ability to launch a wave of solar energy forward, damaging and scorching targets in front of you as you leap into the air. While airborne, activating your charged melee again to slam the ground and create a second larger wave of damaging solar energy. If the wave hits a scorched target, they ignite. So scorched stacks do not matter with this build. As long as you hit a scorched target with the downward slam, everything will ignite. And we're gonna beef this Consecration Slam up as much as we can and also have an unlimited amount of them. For your second aspect, in easier content, you could go with Roaring Flames, but as you see, we don't need that damage, so we're going with Soul Invictus for survivability. We want to get ability kills on everything that we can and create those sunspots, so we're healing ourselves in the process. The extra ability regen is nice from the sunspot, but it's really not needed. It's all about that healing and staying alive. Now make sure to pay attention to these fragments and mods because they're what allows us to loop our melee ability without using Heart of InMost Light. So first off, we have Ember of Blistering. Defeating targets with solar ignitions grants grenade energy. We're defeating so many targets with solar ignitions that our grenade comes back so fast as we slowed down that clip earlier and showed you guys. Next we have Ember of Searing. Defeating scorched targets grants melee energy. So now we're getting melee and grenade every time that we just blow things up. On top of that, we're putting on Ember of Eruption. Your solar ignitions have increased area of effect, so that explosion is much bigger. And then to top it off, we're putting on Ember of Torches. Powered melee attacks against combatants make you and nearby allies radiant. This is a 25% damage buff, and since we're using so many slams, we're going to have this up all the time, and your teammates are going to have this up all the time and love you for it. Now let's add in the mods to make sure we get that melee back and also some healing to top it off. Then the exotic for some serious damage. So your 5 combat mods that you want to take advantage of is Melee Wellmaker. So every time we do our Consecration Slam, we're going to create a solar well. We're going to throw on Elemental Charge, so every time we pick up that solar well, we're then going to become Charged with Light ×2. And then we're going to throw on Heavy Handed. Now Heavy Handed used to not work with Consecration. During all of Solar 3.0, I tried it over and over, it never worked. And there's a few other melees that it didn't synergize with and just didn't work with for whatever reason. But apparently on Tuesday, Bungie fixed this or buffed this or just made it work properly with these aspect melees. So now here on the Consecration Titan, you can get half of it back when using your melee. Even on the new Lightning Surge Warlock melee aspect, you'll get half of it back, so you can actually loop the new Warlock melee over and over too. And since we're able to do this, it's just opened up a lot of things, especially on the Titan here. Next, we're going to throw on Well of Life to get healing every time we pick up that solar well. And then we're going to throw on Bountiful Wells as our last one to create 2 solar wells every time that we slam the ground. Now Heavy Handed is giving us half of our melee back. Our fragment where we defeat scorched enemy is giving us melee back. The 2 solar wells we pick up is giving us melee back. And that's how we're able to loop our melee over and over. It really is a thing of beauty now, and thank you so much, Bungie, for fixing this or buffing it or doing whatever you did to it. Thank you. I was also using the artifact mod this season that allows my solar melee to stun champions, and yes, the uppercut stuns an unstoppable champion, and then your downward cut will be a big boom on that exact same champion, which is just awesome to see. And now we're healing with Well of Life, and we're also healing with Soul Invictus, so we have plenty of healing with the build. You could technically drop Bountiful Wells for something else if you wanted, like Time Dilation to make Well of Life last even longer. That's completely up to you guys. Now our exotic of choice is Synthoceps. Their perk is Biotic Enhancements, increased melee lunge range, improved melee and super damage when you're surrounded. When you're surrounded by 3 or more enemies, it activates the Biotic Enhancements, and this increases your melee damage for 8 seconds. But we normally have this procced basically all the time because we're jumping straight in there with Consecration. This is a 200% damage increase to our melee, so this is where we're getting those big booms. And don't quote me on this, but I am 90% sure that the increased melee lunge range also makes the solar wave of energy when we do our uppercut and downward cut that we unleash go further than if you had Synthoceps off. Now it was really hard to test that, but I'm pretty sure we get an extra couple meters right there at the end because it just felt like my scorch waves were reaching really far. So a couple things you could add to the build to make it even better is make sure you have the damage reduction mods on your chest piece, the one from the artifact, and also like a concussive dampener or a sniper resist. And then on your class item, you could go with like double bomber, or you could go with double outreach, something that just feeds into a different ability. And then of course you want 100 resilience with the build for that damage reduction in all activities that you're doing. And then with this particular build, I went with 100 strength, and I actually got up to 90 discipline as well. But I don't think any of those are actually needed. You really just want that 100 resilience. And then on your helmet, you could throw on harmonic siphon, so when you get solar kills, it will create orbs of power for you and your team. And then since my solar melee was stunning unstoppable champions, I just had anti-barrier auto rifle for my primary to pop those barriers if I needed. And then I had room on my arms to do something else, so I went with momentum transfer. Causing damage with a grenade reduces your melee cooldown. So for whatever reason, if you did do your consecration slam and you were like 20% short, you could throw that grenade. And I was using thermite grenade because it can actually proc momentum transfer twice when it lasts that long on the ground. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this build, and if you think there's anything stronger than this. I really don't think there is. I mean, one-shotting 2 champions with my melee ability and then having that melee ability up all the time to deal with any large group of adds or any champions, and even multiple champions at the same time. The more I thought about it, the more I played with it while I was making this video and putting it together, and the more that I was thinking about it, I just don't think there's anything this powerful in the game. And when you're using that consecration slam, you really feel that power fantasy. And I think that's something really enjoyable about this build. So I hope you guys found it helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you're a member and have any questions, make sure to ask me over in the Discord member section, and I will definitely answer you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still here watching at the end, you are the real MVP, and I very much appreciate that. I'll see you guys all in the next video, and have a great rest of your day. See you later, crew.
Stand by.